Does there always have to be a husband and a wife? Let's get into it. Does there always have to be a husband and a wife? You would think that this is going to be a conversation about traditional relationship roles, right? Marriage and all this stuff, honey, but it's not. Because the thing about it is, this is really about more queer relationships and how, people are still living some of and experiencing some of a heteronormative, world when it comes to relationships. It's like, is there two husbands? Is there two wives? Is there a husband and a wife? Does one of the husbands take on the role of the wife or the feminine person in the relationship? And the same thing with like in same-sex, lesbian or queer women relationships. Is one of the women femme? Is one of the women, mass presenting? And does the mass presenting person still have to like take care of all the bills and be the person who's responsible, with the household expenses like it is in the hetero world? Which, let me just say that, not that I agree with that either, because I don't think it should be like that, because I believe in partnerships, and in partnerships it doesn't matter, but the whole point of a partnership is that you and the other person define what it is you want in a relationship. So my question again is there always a husband and a wife? And does there need to be, even in same-sex relationships or relationships, that are what we call straight presenting, where someone may be like trans masculine or trans femme, and their partner may be cis or not, right? But they come across as this heteronormative couple, and until you really get to know them, and then you realize that one of them may be trans or one of them may be queer in some way, but they look straight to everybody else. So my question again is there always a husband and a wife? And I mean that by role, right? I mean, even in the queer community, are we still looking for, like, I need my partner, right, who is mass presenting, or I need my partner who's more femme to be the one who's at home cooking and cleaning and doing all the things, right? While I go out, and make more money, because, I'm mass presenting. So in a masculine world, that we live in today, so to speak, honey, I'm probably going to make more money than my, partner who is more femme, who looks like a woman, acts like a woman, whatever, right? So let me just say that, it's interesting to me that even today, right, we still have these roles in relationships where one person really is seen as like the person who's masculine. And it has nothing to do with gender, honey. It has nothing to do with gender. It could be two men, it could be two women. When I mean women, I'm talking about cis in this case. But it could be someone who's trans, or someone who's, gender fluid or non-binary or whatever that is, right? To where it's like, people take on these traditional roles regardless of what type of relationships they're in. So, are you one of those people who still believe that no matter what, that I'm, if I'm mass presenting, then I should be the one who's like the head of the household? I should be the one who goes out and brings home, I think it's the woman that brings home the bacon. So what do mass presenting people bring home? Is it the ribs, the ribs, right? The beef ribs, if you eat beef, I don't know. And I'm just being silly. But, if the woman is bringing home the bacon, what is the mass presenting person in the relationship bringing home, right? And do you have like what, I used to have these neighbors a long time ago. It was hilarious. They had these pink and blue chores. Yeah. So, like cutting the grass was a blue chore. Doing the dishes was a pink chore. Cleaning the house, hell, was a pink chore. I know. It sounds crazy, right? It sounds so crazy. It sounds crazy to me even then, hell. So it's like, what is this about? For me, it's more about, strengths, and if you have, a strength where, you're good at cooking, like me, I like to claim that, then it's a strength. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a girl or I'm a woman, cis or not, that it makes me want to cook. No, I just like to cook, right? I also like to build stuff, right? I also like to do a lot of fixing stuff, like whatever that is, right? I'm not waiting for someone to come home to fix it for me. I'm fixing it. At least I'm trying to figure it out for myself, right? Me and YouTube. Thank you very much, right? So I just wonder, not only is this happening like for older couples like myself, right? Those that I like to consider of a certain age, but is this also happening? Because I think it is, like with younger people who are in their 20s and 30s, and then some people that are probably in their 40s who have this idea that I'm going to be the one cleaning and cooking, and I'm going to be the one taking care of the children. I'm going to be the one who takes out the trash. I'm going to be the one who, does all the driving because I'm the masculine image figure person in the household, right? So, I just want to have this conversation because I, see a lot of people, and y'all know I talk to a lot of people, and I'm always like, listening and hearing, conversations with people, right? And about people. And so, this came up in my mind, because I'm always working with people who are like same sex, right? And then people who are like what I call straight presenting, regardless of what that is. And they do sometimes still have these ideas, these heteronormative ideas of what traditional or how traditional relationships are. And so I'm like the opposite of that. I'm like that person who, if I have a strength, if I'm good at finances, honey, I'm gonna do the finances. And if you're good at cleaning the house, then you can clean the house, or maybe we can do it together. But it doesn't have to be because I'm more femme presenting or you're more mass presenting. Let me just recap really quickly. This really came up for me because I was on Instagram listening to some stuff, because in the mornings I like to go into Instagram and other social media platforms to kind of get a vibe for what the day is about, what's happening out there in the world. And I heard someone say, and it was kind of jokingly, basically saying, insinuating, that one of the people in the relationship was more femme, so they really weren't considered as a man, even though they are a man. And I'll just be honest with you, honey, I have some people that I work with, and just because they're gay men doesn't make them femme, right? They're still men and they want to be identified as men. And so, that's how this came up for me. This question of, does there always have to be a husband and a wife? I don't know. You guys tell me.